Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. It's your boy Big Zeke in the building. I'm also here with my brothers Andre.
Oh, full name. What's up, man?
Damn.
What's up?
You know what, my bad.
What's up, 94 Feet Nation? It's Andre here for you today.
I'm looking at Kesey. He keep throwing me off. He do this on purpose, but he be throwing me off.
It's Andre. What's good, Nation?
Now blame me.
I don't have to blame you. We can roll back the tape.
What's good, Nation? What's good? What's good?
I'm also here with my brother Kesey.
Oh, Kesey or Markeith.
Why you gotta go there, man?
I mean, he went there with me. He called me full name. Why
So
can't we call
what?
you
He
full
did that
name?
to you, not me.
That's true.
Okay, Isaiah and Markeith. I apologize.
I guess you're gonna make this a chain reaction, son. So he did,
Pretty
he did
much.
to me,
Pretty
and
much.
then who am I supposed to do it to?
Pretty much.
Antonio.
No, don't care. Who y'all running from? Y'all running from the government now?
Now, out of the three of us, who is most likely at this table to run from the government?
Everybody. Fraud. Homicide.
Wow.
And I stole something.
Wow.
So theft. Fraud. Homicide. I stole something. There you
I
go,
do
theft.
not agree with that, but
That's farthest from the truth, but you know, what's up, good people?
what's good, my brothers? How y'all doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. How y'all doing?
Well,
Good,
I like
man.
you start using my government name like that.
Hey, man, that's your partner over to your left. But let's start this show off right. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Let's start with the injury report. Dre, would you like us to start
For
with
a
the
second,
injury
I thought
report?
you was gonna go into prayer. Let's start this off
Right,
right.
right.
Everybody
I'm like,
grab hands.
pray.
I'm gonna grab your hands.
In the
man, for a
name of
second.
Jesus. Right.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a little prayer.
Hey,
before.
man, we know that. Do
We
you know
need-
that?
We need Jesus.
Man, we need
I
him.
pray every time before I meet y'all. I pray. Like, Lord,
It don't
I'm
work
not
because you still act like a jerk. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
John Morant suffered a left knee sprain. There is no timetable for his return. That is a major blow to the Memphis Grizzlies if he is out for an indefinite amount of time. Jalen Green from the Houston Rockets is week to week with a hamstring injury. And from the Denver Nuggets, PJ Dozier has a torn left ACL. He is out for the year. But again, obviously, we don't go through all the injured players every week, but there's a consistency happening now where teams are just building up on these injuries, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better. So get better soon, get well soon to all those NBA players dealing with injuries.
Yeah, I thought kind of keep it short this week with the holidays and everything like that. I thought we kind of just keep this episode kind of light and kind of just talk about this, keep the shoot around a little bit longer than usual. We're going to start off with Ben Simmons is reportedly going broke due to extensive fines and expensive habits. Like buying a new car every month, and he may be returning to the 76ers to avoid running out of money. Thoughts?
First of all, who buys a car every month?
This man is getting paid like $30 million a year, almost more than that. I'm not mad at him.
But who
I'm not
does
gonna
buy-
break it down how much that is a month and a weekly pay every other
He's
week.
not buying no car every month.
Trying to be like
definitely-
Floyd.
I think it's more speculations. You know what I mean? Than
Okay.
anything.
At first, I was saying the same thing, but everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's saying the
It
same
only
thing.
take
He
one
is going
person.
broke.
It only take one person to say something.
That's true.
It only take one. It only take one person.
So, do you think he's not going broke, or you think that he's not buying a car every month? It's two different things.
I don't think he's going
I think
our
he's going-
broke, but he's going probably NBA broke. You know what I mean?
Which could be a lot. I think people fail to realize if you take Ben Simmons $30 million a year salary, he's in a high tax bracket. So he's only getting probably half of that, right? Once you pay all his agents and his entourage, we all know that Rich Paul isn't cheap for representation. The other part I think we forget is he's not making any money. Every game that he sits out, he's not being played because he's not adhering to the 76ers health and mental health protocol as they tried to put him in. So not only is he not being paid, some of these games, I believe he's being fined. So it's not hard to believe that a player is potentially going broke. If he's going broke, I would like to know who's managing his money.
That's my question.
Because
who managing that brother money if he broke?
Because we don't hear about Kyrie going broke, and Kyrie hasn't played in feels like almost 2 years, right?
Kyrie has a signature shoe.
Right.
There you go.
He has a movie deal.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it. He has multiple streams of NBA income coming in, but I found it hard to believe that Ben Simmons is going broke. However, I can see that the pot might be a little empty because there's nothing coming in the pot. That's not hard to believe.
But that's why I say he's not inner city brother broke. He's NBA broke, which means some of the lavish things he might have to cut back on if he decided to keep on going at the rate he's going and not collecting that bag. I mean, you gotta cut some things back. And if he buying a car every month, it's time to start putting the fuel on the market.
I mean, what are you gonna do with a car every month? Like, none of us are rich like that. I mean, when I see Floyd Mayweather, who is arguably probably the richest athlete of our era ever, Floyd walks through his garage and he has fleets of cars, right? Fleets of them with a ton of money still in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Simmons, you live in Philly, right? It's cold. You know what I'm saying? It's cold outside. It's what are you going to do with all of those cars? I mean, allegedly, according to this report, we don't know how many he has, but I would suggest if any of this is true, his financial team get it in order quick, because we all seen 30 for 30 broke. It's possible to be there, right? We saw what happened to Latrell Sprewell, where he went bankrupt on a boathouse here in Milwaukee, right?
But I'll tell you like this. Ben Simmons ain't got to do nothing but lace them shoes up.
And return to work.
And return to work.
Go to work.
Lace his shoes up, return to work, and the bag going to be back in there.
Easily.
I mean, and that's why I don't feel like sorry for this guy. I don't feel sorry for this guy at all, just because and it's easy to go broke in this era because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And, you know, Ben Simmons has been dating some very I don't want to say expensive women, but some very lavish women, to where he is he's living a certain lifestyle. He has to keep up with a certain lifestyle. Like all the women that he's been messing with, like from I want to say one of the Jenner chicks, he was messing with some supermodel. He's messing with a R&B star. So these are women who are used to top-notch luxury stuff. And when you have money, especially when you're young, you think you can, you know, it'll keep rolling in and you'll be fine and so on and so forth. But
so basically, you're calling them a trick.
I'm not calling
that's what in my hood, in our hood.
Yeah.
If he doing what you say,
I'm not saying that he's a trick. I'm saying he has to keep up with the Joneses. Like if I pull up in a BMW, whatever 750. And the dude next to me pull up in a Phantom coupe, most likely she gonna turn her head, look at that Phantom coupe. That's just the world he's in. I don't feel sorry for him. Do I think the reports are true? I think they are true, because anytime that Ben Simmons has went off the rail, all they did is say, we're gonna keep finding you, and then all of a sudden he got his mind right. He's tried everything to get out of not playing basketball.
But you sound like just the rest of the people, though.
Like what?
You're judging him. What he do is what he do with his money, and what he do.
You're right. You can't do what you want to do with your money.
Why does everybody have something to say about what he spent his money on?
Why
is there anybody concerned that he's broke? Only thing we should be concerned about is if his health is okay right now. And when is he going to return to basketball?
Because we think he's full of crap. That's
black and blue. Because Dude,
I'm glad you said that, Kesey, because Isaiah Thomas a couple weeks ago said, you know, Philadelphia 76ers failed Ben Simmons, not the other way around.
I disagree.
And he said that he said back in the day, a team would protect you from this type of stuff. They would hold themselves accountable and sit you down and such and such. Now, to me, to counter that, I would say Ben Simmons is a spoiled brat who thinks he can just do what he wants to do and that there's no consequences, and he's getting a hard lesson in life.
I mean, how many interventions does he need? I mean, how many people is it going to take for LeBron to come up off the Rich Paul throne and say, Ben, get your stuff together and return to work?
Can't nobody, when you making that kind of money, can't nobody make you do nothing?
Well, they can, because in a
Yeah.
minute they're gonna ban his behind. Okay.
What are they going to ban him for?
Well, number one, he's not in compliance.
Well, now-
Insubordination or something?
He's not in compliance.
They're not
number
gonna
one.
ban him. They're just gonna keep on taking money from
Gonna
him.
keep taking money. He's not in compliance. Again, Ben Simmons, when we talk about Kesey asks, why is everyone concerned? When you sign up for this lifestyle, everybody's concerned about everything.
I know.
You are a walking magazine. You are
A walking target.
a paparazzi is
Well, you
by
got-
you 24/7, and that's a part of the life. That's the life of being a famous basketball player. Now, Ben Simmons, I would imagine, has a finance team that is investing his money.
I don't think so.
Well, I hope he gets it if these reports are true. But again, all he has to do to fix this is go back to work.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's
Go
all he
back
has
to
to
work.
do.
Go back to work and help your team out.
Even if he,
It's easier said than done, though.
you know what? Let's say he doesn't. Let's say he doesn't go back to work. Then get the help that the team is affording to you. If you get the help that the team is affording to you, you wouldn't be in this predicament. But because you know, they know, we know, you're full of it, we're gonna call you out on it. I'm paying you $30 million. You think I'm not gonna be like,
So why
how's
does
your
why does
mental
he
health?
have to be full of? Why can't the Philadelphia 76ers be full of it at the moment?
Well,
of what?
they're
How are they full
Because
of
my
it?
thing is, like, anybody know when it comes to the team doctors and stuff, they're going to do what's beneficial to that organization, right?
That's true.
Or are they going to do what's beneficial to that individual?
That's true. But with that being said, you're putting yourself in a predicament where this team did not help me out. This team did not want to, because it could look bad for either way. If Ben is not complying with the team doctors, it looks bad on Ben. If Ben is complying with the team doctors and the team fails him, it looks bad on the 76ers. Therefore, people don't want to go to the 76ers.
But my thing is, if you're Ben and you're already fighting against the organization, what makes you think any of the team doctors are going to be on your side? Who you think they're getting paid by?
well, see,
But everyone wants to see Ben on the court, though.
here's why that's a terrible analogy, because you're acting like Ben has a torn something. Ben recently declared mental health when he found out he was losing money. Then the Sixers sent the mental health resources to him and he declined them, allegedly. So this is not on the team. This is on the players.
So you say.
This is on the players.
So are you sitting in those meetings?
Move us on.
Are you on those phone
Move
calls?
us on, because it's dark outside and Kesey swear the sun is shining. Move us on. Move us on. Move us on. Next topic. Next topic.
Oh,
man.
okay.
I'm not about to play with you today, man.
Don't play with me today, then.
I want to leave because that was pretty smooth.
Somebody got to be on Ben's side. Ben, I'm on your side, bro.
Until,
This episode,
Fight
listen,
for what you believe in.
listen to them last episodes. He was
Um,
all over you.
moving on. After the departure of Luke Walton in Sacramento,
Good.
the Houston Rockets are considering firing the head coach, Stephen Stiles.
We're clapping because of him being fired. He celebrated that last
Yeah,
week.
you got something else.
Dude, he really is.
Man, that's a long applause. That's the extended version.
But so the Houston Rockets are considering firing Stephen Stiles. Do you guys think he should be fired? Because they're on the pace to being so. Go Golden State Warriors are on the pace to being 73-9 again. The Houston Rockets are on the pace to be 9-73.
Dude, they are 3-16 right now.
Exactly.
They
So my
couldn't beat
question
the
for
draws off themselves right now.
so my question
Dang,
for you
that's
is
bad.
like, is this the right way to go? Because I think when teams underestimate or underperform, they go to the coach. They don't go to the superstars. They go to the coach. Now this is a young team. This is I ain't gonna say underdeveloped. This is a team that people didn't really see high hopes for. But I think that being 3-16 is kind of
Because
really.
in today's league, they're looking for them to at least be 500. Even though they're not.
I don't want to say
500, even though they're
500,
not a
but
500
around
team,
there, depending on
but
your
they
talent.
should be close to 500. Maybe a couple games under 500. They shouldn't be losing like they're losing.
Look up their roster for me, Andre.
Go ahead.
I was just
Got it
gonna
right
say.
here.
Oh, you got it?
Yep.
Get that man prepared.
So here's the thing. The coaches are scapegoats. And I predict by our Christmas episode, we'll be talking about Frank Vogel with the same situation.
Mm.
But someone has to be to blame. Partially, this is on management. The Rockets management is horrible. You managed to lose James Harden, Westbrook.
He wanted out.
Okay, I get that. You managed to lose Dwight Howard in his heyday. You managed to bring in John Wall off injury, not play him, ask him to take a bench role to help a team develop that's 3-16. I don't quite understand that. So before you go after the coach, you go after the management of that franchise. They are running it into the ground. The coaches are not out there playing basketball. I get that. And I know that coaching does matter, as we talked about last week when we talked about Walton losing his job. I don't think you can go after the coach of Houston because Houston is just a bad basketball team, like the Los Angeles Lakers, which we'll talk about later too.
Hold on a second. I was going to stop you real quick because last week we talked about Luke Walton.
Terrible coach.
And you say he's a terrible coach.
Terrible coach. The reason, and now here's why that's not.
Hold on a second, though. He has a very talented Sacramento team. Yes or no?
They're okay.
Houston Rockets. They are less talented than the Sacramento Kings.
I would agree.
So why hit the coach? Why not just let it play out?
I just said that. I just said you start with management. Okay, I don't believe you fire the Rockets coach because the Rockets franchise is being horribly
I'm
managed.
saying why anybody has to get fired and you play it out. That's what
I don't know if firing a coach that a team that's 3-16 doesn't matter unless you're saying the coach has lost the locker room or that there's a morale issue with this coach. What are your new coach going to do? Help you win 10 games? You know what I'm saying? So what would be the point? But I think that the Houston Rockets issue is not an issue of coaching. I think it's an issue of management. John Wall, it sounds like he wants to play and is clear to play.
Now he wants to play.
But they're saying, no, we want you to come off the bench. If John Wall, whose name still carries superstar in his league, his name carries it. If he's ready to play, put him in the game unless you're tanking. But what are you tanking for?
That's
more draft picks.
That's a different situation.
Yeah, but
the John Wall is a different situation just because John Wall was injured and they didn't want to get injured even further. And they were trying to look for a trade partner, but wasn't nobody biting. And that's because he has a stupid big contract. Hey, John, do you want to buy out? No, I'm not buying out. All right, then cool. We're just gonna sit you. And he agreed to it. It is what it is. Kesey?
I feel they made a big mistake. They let Harden go for too cheap.
Yep.
And now look where you at. You can't get nobody to come to Houston right now.
Nobody. And they tax-free state.
And Houston is a nice destination for somebody looking for some mostly warm weather.
A vacation.
You know what I'm saying? And to come in and have your own team. Because ain't nobody on that roster right now considered a leader of the team.
Nobody.
Go over the roster real quick, Keezy.
Jalen Green.
Hurt.
The rookie.
Hurt.
John Wall.
Hurt or out.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Who?
He's solid.
He's all right.
I'm just doing what Kesey does when you say players. Next. I mean, their most talented player is Christian Wood.
Christian Wood
is always hurt, though.
And he's their most talented player.
Eric Gordon.
He's a veteran who's on his way. I don't say on the verge of retirement. He's a solid 3-and-D guy, but he's kind of small.
And he wants out, too. You just don't hear it anymore, but he wanted out at the end of last season because he wants to be on a contending team. He's at that age where he feels like he can do nothing for a young core building team. You'll see him get traded, I bet, by the All-Star break to a contending team.
Daniel Tice.
Who?
He's from Boston.
He is.
He's a big man. He's decent.
He's okay.
Role player.
Right.
Kenyon Martin Jr.
He's solid.
He's okay.
He's solid. He in and out of the G League.
Daniel House.
Daniel House is a good 3-and-D guy. That's what
Usman Garuba.
Okay, well, let's just stop there. So, I mean, the point. Let's just stop there.
And DJ Augustine.
But the point is that you have this team that is like we just went over their roster. That roster doesn't scream 500. That roster doesn't scream. That roster screams rebuilding mode.
Yep.
Christian Wood, before he was going on the verge of being the most improved player, he was having a good year, and then he got hurt last year, and then he stays hurt. We really haven't heard from him since.
He's kind of frail, though.
Yeah, he's
a big man, but he's frail big man, and he's not a bad player though. To be honest with you,
Yeah, when he's on the floor, he can contribute. But I just, I guess the question goes back to: do you think this guy is? Do you think this is a coaching issue, or do you think this is just one of those situations they should just let it play out? I think they should just let it play out.
This is one of those things where you put John Wall on the floor and just let it be.
Yep.
You have no reason to keep sitting him for what?
Yep.
I mean,
You got a young core that can watch and learn some things. When he's healthy, he produces. It's just he's get hurt quite often. So I mean, the chances he get, put him out there. See what happened.
Yeah.
What you got to lose? You're already 3-16.
Well, after now we're speaking about John Wall. He said he wants to return to basketball, but in the Houston Rockets, he wants to return to basketball, but the Houston Rockets have yet to find a trade partner. 3 teams who are interested in signing Wall if he's bought out are the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks, and those Los Angeles Clippers. Out of these 3 teams, who you think best fits? Who John Wall would best fit?
If he gets a buyout, I don't see him in Milwaukee.
I don't want him here.
He doesn't fit.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Milwaukee.
Why?
Like I said last time we talked about the Bucks, George Hill is not it. He hasn't been it. I don't see him going to be it. And I think John Wall.
What do you think a player like George Hill is supposed to do?
Contribute.
You don't think he contributes?
Not enough.
Have you seen his play?
Yeah.
And you don't think he contributes?
No.
Not enough?
Mm-mm.
So why would we want John Wall, who's injury prone, behind Holiday, who's also somewhat injury prone?
I feel like if we can limit an injury guy, a guy who's usually injured, is you combat that with limiting his minutes and putting him in certain areas, certain times of the game, certain times you bring him out. Like what's his name? Holiday. Holiday may start. He'll play the first quarter, maybe into the second quarter, and then we'll bring him out, into the half, and then we'll bring him back in third quarter. So on and so forth. Go ahead.
What can John Wall do that George Hill can't do?
Get to the basket, dump it off.
You just said
he can get to the basket and still score. Now I will say that.
You think John Wall can still get to the basket?
Not like how he used to. But
Okay, then. So
yes or no? Hold on. Yes or no? Yes or no?
There we go. Here we go. He can't get to the basket like he used to. He's not a prolific shooter. He's not a defensive player.
Is George Hill?
George Hill plays great defense, and he fits our system defensively.
Solid.
He's not. They don't have him on the roster to be a lights out shooter.
I'm not saying he should be the 6th man off the bench.
Who?
George Hill. Yeah. George Hill should be 6 man off the bench. And when I say contribute, I want him to. His average is probably like 6 or 7. You need to double that.
But you also got to remember he's fighting with minutes with some young guys too.
Yeah,
Jordan Nora.
Oh, come on, man, stop it.
Dude,
you don't believe in that.
The boy can play.
The boy can play.
The boy can play. He can shoot.
Not long minutes, but he can play.
He play point guard. So I mean, he's battling minutes with 4 different people who's playing the point guard position for the Bucks.
I expect somebody like George Hill, because a lot of these guys like George Hill, Danny Green, I can't think of somebody else. Those are the 2 guys that came to my head right away. These are the guys who have been large contributors off the bench and starting, kind of going back and forth throughout the years. They're on the decline because they're getting older. So I want to say that if you can get somebody in there younger, which is John Wall's younger but not as young, but I'm saying though, if you can get a veteran in there who can contribute more, why not try?
But
we don't know what.
But at what cost do you take that risk at? Because even though George Hill might not be giving you 12 and 4, just say that. He's giving you
6 and 2.
6 and 2, but he's playing every night. He's there every night though.
And I get what you're saying. A body on the floor is better than nobody. I get that.
Because once John Wall gets on the floor, it only take one drive to the hole, and guess what?
He out for the next 3 seasons.
He back out on injured reserve.
3 seasons.
I'm not saying something.
Every time John Wall
contract.
go for a layup, he hurt.
Let me just say this. We do not want John Wall nowhere near the Milwaukee Bucks. We don't need him. You don't want him anywhere near the Miami Heat. You don't need him. If you're looking for a good situation, maybe it's the Clippers because they may be a lottery team. I don't see. I don't see if Kawhi doesn't come back. What are they playing for?
Are you serious?
If Kawhi doesn't come back, what are the Clippers playing
A
for?
championship.
Without Kawhi Leonard.
Yes.
Okay. You can keep thinking that if you want to.
Paul George is not money.
No.
Don't check those stats. Check those stats. Y'all like to check those stats. Check those stats on Paul George.
Paul George doing pretty good this year.
Exactly. He's doing really good this year.
But he's not gonna. But how many seasons has he done that?
Look, man, we know what
Nope,
playoff.
how many
we
seasons?
know what playoff P is looking like. We know what that's looking
the
like.
last 4 straight seasons.
I'm not
So
saying-
playoff P be balling out during the season.
So the Clippers are in 4th place right now.
Mhm.
And if you want to put this man in a situation where he can be more complimentary, then you send him to a team like the Clippers that probably could use his services. The Bucks don't need a point guard. John Wall has said he is not interested in coming off the bench.
He said that.
Those were the words. That's why he's not playing for Houston.
He's not playing for Houston because he's always getting hurt, and they don't want him to get hurt before they trade him.
He is not
and he
playing.
has a huge contract.
He is
That's
not,
why he's not being traded, because he has a huge contract.
he is not playing right now because he doesn't want to come off the bench.
I don't believe that.
Woj reported it.
Who?
Woj reported it. Adrian Woj reported it. He is the Bible when it comes to the NBA.
You're right. Okay.
Okay. John Wall, if you come to the Bucks, you're not starting over Holiday. You're
Yeah,
not.
We know that.
You're not starting over Kyle Lowry in Miami.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
that. I think John Wall knows that. But just like Derrick Rose,
If you
But-
one second,
that you-
one
Hold on,
second,
hold on,
one second.
hold on,
If-
one second before you go any further. But you got to look at the difference, though.
what?
He coming off the bench in Houston behind a rookie that has no experience. Of course, I'm thinking in my head like I'm should be starting, right?
And if you go,
Yeah.
yes and no. And if you go to the Clippers, he's not gonna. Is he gonna start over Eric Bledsoe?
It's a possibility because what
Is
did
he gonna
Bledsoe,
come
what
off
did
the
Bledsoe,
bench
what did Bledsoe
over?
do for us?
Yeah, is he gonna come off the bench over Reggie Jackson?
I don't see why not.
So if
Reggie
you want,
who?
exactly. So you all help me prove my point. If there's a team that's best suited for his needs right now, it's the Clippers. Based on those 3 teams you mentioned, it's definitely not the Bucks,
I think
and it's definitely not Miami.
Go ahead, Keith.
I don't see where he fits right now in the league.
In any of those 3 teams, really, because the Clippers are loaded at the point guard position. They're
Yes,
loaded.
Kesey,
best-
did you or
I'm-
did you not?
And they have, and they have Justice Winslow and Jason Preston. They have 4 point guards.
Who?
Jason Preston. He's like the 4th, but still, they have 4 point guards on the Clippers. What are they going to do with John Wall?
Well, first of all, Eric Bledsoe is half a player.
Well, John Wall hasn't played in 4 seasons.
About 2.5.
His best bet is probably go somewhere like Brooklyn.
Come on and stop it. Now you being ridiculous.
I'm saying they taking all the vets. You know what I'm saying?
They
Them and the
are
Lakers.
Oh,
right there.
the
they
two,
were right
the
there.
2 first.
but the Lakers ain't hurt though.
anymore.
They should be. But they playing.
Yeah,
But
talking about that
anyways,
39
no,
by
okay,
LeBron, 2 nights in a row.
Hold on a second now.
Scrubs.
Kesey, did you or did you not bring up a person who we thought was done? Derrick Rose. Did we or did we not think he was done? And he's contributing very well to a New York Knicks team.
I didn't
So
think
what
he
I'm
was-
saying, huh?
I didn't think he was done because I wanted the Lakers to get him when they had the chance.
Who? D Rose.
Yeah,
They probably would have helped him out a lot. But what I'm saying is, John Wall, the fact that he wants to play is a step forward in the right direction.
I agree.
And he's
I
not going to
agree.
get a stupid contract if he gets bought out. He's looking at NBA minimum, 1 million, 2 million. I get that. So, but I think that he can still contribute to a team, and I think that the Bucks is one of those teams. We need some exciting players off the bench.
So if you John Wall, what do you do?
If you,
Sit on
if
the
I'm
bench.
John Wall, I'm sitting.
Do you sit on your bench and collect that check? 'Cause he,
I'm-
what he get-
I'm
'cause
sitting.
he getting that LeBron money.
He getting like
Sitting on the
90s. Yeah, he getting LeBron James kind of money. He's sitting on the bench.
And
I
he's
was
been getting it for like 4 years.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with it. When he said, I'm gonna sit out, I'm like, I ain't mad at you. Because they not stopping you from going to practice. They're not stopping you from participating in stuff. They just saying you gonna sit on the bench.
John
Like, all
Wall
right, cool.
signed a 4-year, $170 million contract. John Wall this year is making $44 million, and next year he's owed $47 million. That's
Yeah.
almost $50 million for a guy who has not played more than 30 games in 4 years combined.
If I'm John Wall, I'm sitting. I'm
Why
sitting
would the
on.
Bucks want any of that?
I said if he's bought out.
No, if he bought out, we only have to pay him the veteran minimum.
Man, don't bring that curse over here. Stay over there.
You know how many players the Bucks have been playing millions and they ain't played a lick.
They just
We
got
can
done
take
paying
one-
Larry Sanders,
We
didn't
just,
they?
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say,
we still
just,
on Larry Sanders.
we just got done paying Larry Sanders.
But just think,
Right.
if you Houston, do you want that money on your books after this year?
No, they're trying to get rid of him.
Trying to get
That's
rid
what
of
I'm saying, though. Like, you just want these next 2 years to go by with him on the roster,
And
then
just kind
you'll
of
be
put him in.
scot free. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because they don't want it to be a lingering thing where you still paying him 10 years down the line
right.
because he agreed to a buyout of.
he
Let's
probably
just say this.
like
What he
50,
owed?
probably
What he
like half,
owed? What he
probably
owed?
half, like 50. They
What he
probably
owed?
give him
About
like 50.
90 left on his contract.
Yeah, they probably give him like
They
50.
probably give him 60
Yeah,
and say we'll pay you 10 over the next 6 years straight.
or something
That's
like
10
that.
years on the books that they can't sign somebody that they might need to sign over the next few years.
Without
Yeah.
going over the
once-
salary cap.
Well, once you bought out, they said though they're trying to get rid of you. But I mean, I just think that he can contribute to a team still.
For $47 million, he better.
Contribute what? Nigga who can get him some shoes and a jersey?
Maybe.
Contribute the last person who bought a John Wall jersey.
It's some niggas out there with some Washington Wizards jerseys.
Man, you ain't seen nobody with no John Wall jersey on in 10 years.
I didn't
Well,
even know
like I
people
said
I'm
still-
not
before-
saying he a scrub or nothing, but like I'm just saying, his career is in.
We've seen comeback. We've seen players come back. So
I
I'm not saying let's not just count
I
them
just
out.
don't see it because every time he get on the floor, he hurt.
Yeah. John Wall, if I'm John Wall, I'm just chilling, keeping quiet. Let me collect my cash and invest wisely and
I
try
like a player
and
who
try to
wants to
come
wants to
back.
play. I appreciate somebody who wants to play. and
I do too, but he ain't being traded.
oh, he's not getting
Not
traded.
for that-
Oh, he's
not for
not
that
getting
type of
traded.
money.
I'm not paying.
44
I'm not paying
million, and then
So what do you think his value
47.
is right now?
about
$5.
what, $5-10?
No, about $5. I say about $5.
5, 10 what?
I say no. I say
Million?
No, I say guaranteed to $5 with incentives.
No.
You finish a whole
What?
season. Yeah,
Veterans minimum.
He's worth the veteran minimum now.
That's it.
No,
That's it.
I
You
said-
said he's worth more?
I just said it. I said $2 million.
He not worth 7 or 8 million a year.
$2 million.
What are we judging his worth off of? He has not played.
Let me ask you something.
seasons,
I'm telling you
man.
right now. I said $2 million,
he has
and then he
not
get
played.
5, and he gets 5 off incentives.
But I tell you like this
Y'all
though.
tripping, man.
Like somebody in the comments just said,
What?
neither one of y'all can guard John Wall if he tie both his shoes together.
Yeah, but we're not in the NBA either, so that comment's irrelevant. So
But
what?
I'm just saying though, like just off that strength alone,
No,
he's not.
no.
Just because he
No,
can
you know
cut-
what that-
just,
that's-
you know.
that-
Hold on a second. Just because he can beat us 3-on-1,
That doesn't.
that don't mean he is worth
so
10
what?
million.
Like,
I say 5,
I give him 7.
7. All right. I'll
Yeah.
take that.
He's worth a 7 million. 7
Now,
or 8.
no, I will
so,
say this.
Let me ask you this.
Dre is the worst GM ever. So
So
if you don't think Giannis deserved what he get,
you've never heard me say that.
do you?
You never heard me
Would you
say
give
that.
Giannis that?
Heck yeah, he's the reason that the Bucks aren't even
Chris
a
Middleton?
name.
Chris Middleton?
I still wouldn't have given him that.
As a-
None of
thank
y'all
you.
would have either.
You
I
don't think Chris
would've.
earned his check?
He earned it after the fact, but in the beginning, we all have problems with that Middleton contract.
No, y'all did.
Okay.
I
I
did
can admit,
too.
I can admit
Okay.
I had a problem with it at first.
Most
He's-
of
he's-
Milwaukee did.
No.
but the way he produced for the Bucks in the finals,
He's
he earned
good.
he earned every dollar.
He's good, and we
He
said
earned every
that.
single dollar.
We said
I
that.
was telling
Shout
y'all,
out to
I pray
Chris,
to
man.
God he
Shout
gets-
out to Chris.
he gets re-signed.
Chris is the leading 3-point shooter in Milwaukee Bucks history now. Shout out to Chris.
and he just got his 10,000 point.
And he just got that. Shout out to Chris
Shout out
Middleton.
to Chris Middleton.
Shout out
Now,
to Chris Middleton.
moving forward.
But hold up, though. Back to this John Wall thing.
go ahead.
You're talking about GM skills. You're going to take a player
'Cause you
that's
cheat.
made $44 million and you're going to reward him with 7 and he hasn't played a game in almost 2 seasons. That's irresponsible. I don't care what you say. That's
I'm not paying-
irresponsible.
No,
Until
what I'm
you've been
saying is
watching
this.
some JJ.
That's
But,
irresponsible.
I'm not,
I ain't even home when he come on.
but listen, how can you knock a brother from making 47 all the way
I'm
down
not
to
mad
making?
at him.
I'm
I ain't
talking about
knocking him.
to knocking a brother to saying he only worth $1.2 million.
I'm
He
not
made
knocking
40
him.
He was a $40-something million man, and now he's
So-
only worth $1.2 million
so-
because he
so-
got hurt.
So I think the point that you're missing is when most players take buyouts, they sign for veterans minimums. When you see all these players
Not
being
all the
signed to
time.
these in most cases, when
Most
you
cases.
see all these players signing with these super teams and attempts to win championships, what does it say? So and so signed for the veterans minimum. so and so signed for the vets minimum, however much it is.
In Brooklyn, because they ain't got no money. we can't pay you but the veterans minimum.
And in fact,
Matter of fact,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, speaking of veteran minimum and guys who have bought it out, you got Blake Griffin contributing over there in Brooklyn. You got what's the other one they got?
Well, he making more than the veteran minimum now, though.
Yeah.
Now he is.
Yeah.
Now he started off with the veteran minimum. That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's only for the remainder of the season.
yeah.
Oh, so
But when the remainder of the season is up, what do you think he's worth?
you have to audition for that.
Depends.
So say he finishes out the season, he averages 10-3, 10-4. What do you pay him?
I am
7.
not giving John Wall another
We're not
rewarding
saying that. What
contract.
are you giving him though?
John Wall is probably, after his buyouts, he's probably a $3 to $5 million a year player with incentives. Because
Incentives.
I said
he
two.
has to.
I said
Bruh,
2 and then 5 with incentives.
DeMarcus Cousins just signed with the Bucks. That's an incentive, non-guaranteed contract, meaning you need to play some games. You need to show us that you can't be injured or suspended. Players that have not played and contribute to their team, you have to earn those incentives back. You have to.
Yeah, I get it. But moving forward,
When did you become a John Wall poster child?
I'm not
you know.
a John Wall poster
Oh,
child,
yeah.
but you
Yeah.
can't.
Green.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's sun. It's shine. The sun is shining
it's
bright
not-
outside.
No, it's not about that.
Are you
It's-
sure?
It's
Is it cold outside?
no, it's a disrespect to somebody of his caliber. Because at the end of the day,
What's
He's
his
a-
caliber? What are you judging it from?
he's been a top-notch player, but when
When?
he's not hurt,
When he's not hurt,
so you got to judge his play off of what he.
I'm judging his ability. I'm not saying that John Wall can't be that guy again. We've seen it happen. What I'm saying is that he needs to start off getting that low ball offer, contribute to a team, and then you
Get
earn your way
rewarded.
back to and get rewarded. I'm not mad at that.
Me either.
Now,
I think it's great that he signed that crazy contract. Get your money, man. They owe you. Get
Yeah.
your money. But I'm saying no teams need to be running up to John Wall saying, "Here's 3 years, $20 million."
no,
I didn't
that's
say
not
no
right.
3 year, $20
He
million.
said $7 million. $7 million a year.
But you can do them in 1 year at a time.
Okay.
Huh.
That's what's up.
So again, moving
Would you take him
forward,
in Milwaukee? Would you take him in
If
Milwaukee?
we had a spot, yes.
he just
Can't start him, dude.
If we had a spot, I'll take him. To be honest, I would take him.
because you just argued me down that we shouldn't take him.
I didn't
Literally.
argue. That was him who said we don't want
No,
John.
I said
No,
he's
that
doing
was you.
better. That
You
was
said-
you.
I-
I said he's doing better than he can. You said who?
I
I said who he gonna spot? He gonna take? I said George Hill, and you was fighting for George Hill.
because George Hill is not a scrub either, though.
I'm not saying he's a scrub. I'm just saying he's not. He can contribute more. They brought him back to better to contribute more, and he's not doing it.
Give George Hill give him a chance, bro. You were hard on him, man.
I'm not hard on him. Just saying what it is.
Chat, man. Let's go. Let's move on. Anyways,
So, anyways, an Eastern Conference coach said on Jason Tatum, I don't think he cares about winning now, and if he does, it is on his terms. Thoughts? Is John Tatum a selfish player, more
Jason
concerned
Tatum?
about winning with the accolades than winning?
You talking about Jason Tatum,
That's it. Who did I say?
John?
Oh, my fault. Jason Tatum.
I'm like, where did the G boy John Wall is in your head, ain't he?
I know, right? Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
Is he a selfish player?
That fits his role right now. The way he's playing right now, it fits who he's playing right now,
I think.
and it shows with the team
I
how
think,
they
yeah.
play together right now. Because at the end of the day, Jason Tatum should be an elite player right now.
I think he is, but the team focus isn't him.
That's because he hasn't solidified that he's that man. And I've been saying this for the last 2 years now. He has to make that point that he's the man. And the only way you do that is you put that team on your back and you take them over the hump.
But your team has to. I think like becoming the man is your team trusting you.
But you have to show them that you got that.
I agree with you, but
he's
you
just
have
he's shown spurts where I can get a bucket. I can get a
prime
can do
clutch
this.
time. I want the ball in Jason Tatum's hand. I agree with that. I think this is more of how players are today. And we've kind of tapped into this a little bit, how these young guys are coming from these colleges where they're the man. I got the ball in my hand. The rock is constantly in my hand. I decide if we win or lose. And I'm more concerned about, because when you get to the NBA, it's like 50-50. It's business, then it's ball. And a lot of guys can't navigate that without being selfish more towards the business side than it just playing ball. I think LeBron is one of the most ball-driven guys in the league right now, but he's also, I think, during his career, especially in Miami, where he was like, I don't have to win. I don't have to shoot the winning shot for us to win the game, because I have other people I can trust to win this game and such, like, i.e. the pass to Ray Allen or the pass to Dwayne Wade to win games and stuff like that for them to move forward. So him being like Jason Tatum's what, 24, 25?
But my thing I think is his issue though is he had early success.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of players, when they have early success, you think you on a caliber above other players.
That's true.
Starting out, which you still got to build up your resume to be that player that you think you are.
Yeah.
And he hasn't built that resume yet. He's had some success because he was there when they had Isaiah Thomas
and Kyrie.
And you know what I'm saying? They had Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? You had two elite point guards that was putting on the show at the time you coming in the league. Mm-hmm. Especially when Isaiah Thomas was on the roll when Tatum came in.
Yeah.
So Tatum got some easy buckets. Tatum was able to get some easy shots.
Didn't nobody know who he was. So
nobody know what he was capable of.
Yeah.
He's 6'8", 6'9". I mean, nobody knew he was going to be as good as he is, but I think his mental has to grow, because he has grown physically and athletically, but his mental has to grow where he can be a leader of that Boston team.
I think that those comments, not yours, but the GM you referenced, is a little critical, because Boston doesn't have a Jason Tatum issue. They have a chemistry issue. I mean, we heard Marcus Smart publicly come for his teammates several weeks ago, and the team
don't pass the ball.
And the team has not been the same since those comments.
They've been actually pretty good.
Yeah, they've been okay. Brown was at the center of trade talks, right? He was at the center of trade talks. You don't think these players are hearing those things? And so I think Jason Tatum, being the leader of the team, is doing the very best he can. I think that assessment of him is sort of an unfair assessment. He's still trying to figure it out. Like Kesey said, Tatum is the man on that team, but he has to own it. He has to tap into that mentality of me being the leader. So I don't know about him stuffing his stats, because, I mean, he gets his numbers, but Brown gets his numbers, right? Smart gets his numbers. So it's not like he's taking anything away.
No, I'm not saying that. I think the comments were kind of towards what Marcus Smart was saying when he said these guys don't pass the ball. And when your teammate says these guys don't pass the ball, and that means you got a lot of ISO going on. Jason Tatum kind of is a ISO guy. I think Jaylen Brown is kind of an ISO guy. So these are two ISO guys who can get you on the wing and do damage to you. They can shoot the rock and such. So they're not really passing the ball. So I think that's what these comments are leaning towards, where somebody who's not about that team ball and just try to make the best, basketball play. If I got the ball in my hand, I need to get to the rack, because ain't nobody else going to score like I can.
But I also think it's on the organization as well, because they're trying to make something work that I don't think is going to work, because Tatum and Brown actually play the exact same position, and they kind of have similar styles of energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
yeah, I see what you're saying.
The organization got to put somebody next to him that complements him, not someone who can kind of do the same things he do, because then now it's a battle.
Yeah. I mean,
so they cause a battle on their roster, because now Brown thinking like, I can do what he do, and then I can play better defense than him. Yeah. And you got Tatum going, well, I'm a better scorer than him. So like, it's a tension there that don't need to be there. You just need to part ways with Brown. Is my thing, and bring in somebody who complements him. he needs a point guard that can get him the ball.
Like Ben Simmons.
It would fit.
They should have took that trade.
It would have fit.
They should have took that trade.
I mean, like I told you, I think Jason Tatum is gearing up to leave.
I mean, I don't think
because I think he's gonna team up with Beasley in Washington. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I think he wants to team up and with Beasley.
Bradley
Jason
Beal?
Tatum.
Bradley Beal.
Did I say Beasley?
Yeah,
Where did that come
Beasley
from?
like twice.
What's going
But
on?
you know who else need to make a bust up too though?
Who?
Portland.
Yeah.
Oh, they just
Because
pushed
Dame
Danny's need to leave.
and CJ don't compliment each other like people think they
And
would.
they've been trying.
And they've been trying for
years.
years, and you can see where it gets them.
Yeah.
And Boston is on the verge of being in Portland's position where
Right.
now they've been there so long, don't nobody else want them.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Tatum's not going to go anywhere because he just agreed. This is the first year of his extension. You know, he signed a 5-year, $195 million extension.
Yeah, James Harden just signed an extension. He asked for a trade too. So
He-
we've seen players switch it up.
We've seen it, but I think Tatum is Boston's franchise player. They will find a way to try to make it work with him versus other players. I mean, I just think we need to be a little more patient with them. I don't think he's stat stuffing. He is the best player on the Boston Celtics roster. And it shows that sometimes when he has to take over a game. Now, Marcus Smart can call that being greedy. He can call that being selfish. He can call whatever he wants. Tatum is the man who should take the last shots. We all talked about that. We all agreed to that. So this isn't really news. They just need to, give the young man some time, man. Let him grow and develop. Who else gonna take the shot?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Who's gonna take the shot, Keys? On Boston. Who's gonna take it?
I'm not giving the ball to Buddy but Tatum, if you ask me.
You feel what?
I'm going to give the ball to Buddy but Tatum.
For that last shot.
For the last shot, who else would you go with?
Jaylen Brown.
No.
Jaylen Brown.
They do the same thing. They do the same thing. They do the exact same thing. Like you just said, they do the exact same
They
thing.
do the exact same. They do have the same type.
The
of
only difference is
statistics, but
Jason Tatum is taller and he's longer. That's it.
That's about it. But he ain't even that much bigger than him, though. To be honest,
But a couple inches.
it got to be busted up. The Portland and got to be busted up. Boston got to be busted up.
Yeah.
And I think
the Lakers. You can say it. Say
I
it.
think the Lakers might have to bust it up, man.
Clearly.
I'm starting to get there. I'm getting there closer and closer every week, man.
Clearly.
Well, speaking of the Lakers, they had a very interesting week. We'll start it off with on Wednesday during the Lakers versus Indiana game. LeBron James had two fans ejected after hecklers made some obscene comments. Now, when this was brought to my attention, I really wasn't going to talk about it, but I heard the comments that they made.
Alleged comments.
Huh?
The alleged comments.
No,
that
they were
made.
their comments.
Okay.
Facts. More than two people that heard them say that.
Okay.
They've said it. Nowadays, you can't say nothing without somebody insta replaying it. You can't do nothing. So what the comment that had LeBron going crazy or had him like, all right, it's a y'all done is he's what somebody said. Either the girl or the dude said, I hope Bronny gets into a car. I hope Bronny, his son, dies in a car accident. And so I was like, okay, yeah, you deserve to get up out of here.
Okay.
And there's no question about that.
Let him speak first. Know about what you just said, because obviously he got something to say, brother.
I always tell y'all, whenever you sit in those seats, you gotta learn, you gotta know how to act.
Oh, of course.
You gotta know how to act. When we sit in those seats, man, you're not supposed to trash talk the players. You're not supposed. First of all, that's beyond trash talk.
I was
right?
gonna say it's the difference between trash talk and wishing somebody dies.
Yeah,
those are two.
That's overboard. They were out of line. If it's true, they were out of order, and LeBron should have had them tossed. But again, I show you guys this, and y'all look at me crazy. Like, look, when we sit down here, there's a certain way to behave.
Listen, I already know. There's certain expectations. Like, it's no different than going into some type of business organization or meeting. Yeah. There's certain expectations expected out of you. You can't spend that type of money on the seat to go down there and disrespect. You don't like
that's harassment, man.
I heard somebody say, you don't have to respect me, but I ain't gonna let you disrespect me.
Yeah.
That was the most true thing I heard. Because I mean, you can boo him. You can say
You can say he sucks.
You can say he sucked. You can say
Cry
you wicked,
baby.
you a crybaby. You can say all you want, but when you get to talking about people, children, and their family, and things that go off the court, then that's when it becomes like, you know what? It's time for y'all to go.
Right, but even in your comments, you can't become a heckler, right? You can't sit in those $1 million seats and heckle players. I mean, I remember a couple years ago, and I shared this on the previous podcast, when we sat down, we were in like the fourth row of the Bucks game, and the people in front of us were heckling Drew Gooden. I mean, heckling him, and they were Bucks fans, and the security removed them because it became heckling. Drew, you suck. You ain't ass. You're this, you're that. So there's a difference between throwing the crying symbols or when LeBron's at the free throw line and you're booing and heckling. There comes a responsibility with where you sit. If you want to heckle, sit up in the nosebleed seats. Okay, don't heckle down on the floor. And more importantly, man, don't bring the man's kid into it. One of the things that the world has taught us in this very rough world, kids are off limits. Okay, not to throw politics in here, but when people talked about Trump and Obama, they never brought the kids into it.
That depends.
I'm talking about their young kids.
Okay.
They're young kids.
Yeah, the young.
Okay.
The babies.
They never brought the kids into it because kids are off limits. Bronny is 16 years old, who will never probably have a normal life. And for you to kill the man off, they should be banned for life.
Yeah, that's
then
what
for you to-
They should be banned
That's
for
one
life.
thing that hasn't been said. How long
thing
they
is,
banned?
though, like,
they just got ejected.
Even though you know you said that, you felt like that was the right thing to say, and you felt like you a crybaby because you mad that I said that.
Yeah.
Like,
Those are the same people that if you get in their face or you get in their face and call them on that BS, they like, man, I was just joking, or it wasn't that serious, and blah blah blah, and that's not the case.
but that's the thing though. Like, it's not a joke to somebody who's sitting there trying to play a game, and you talk about, I hope your son died in a car accident.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. That's overboard. It's way overboard. And if you can't control your alcohol, if you can't appreciate those free seats or those $1,200-$1,300 seats, because it was the Lakers, so you know they cost some bread.
It was no $1,300 seats. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I bet that.
Those are $5,000 and up.
Oh,
Where
clearly,
they were sitting at,
clearly.
that's $5,000 and up.
like
Clearly.
15 grand.
If you can't appreciate those seats, then don't take them.
Yeah. Now, ironically, LeBron James was fined $15,000 on Friday for obscene gestures made versus the Indiana Pacers. LeBron James made the gestures of the Big Kahunas. I don't know.
Sam Cassell.
Yeah, the Sam
Sam
Cassell
Cassell.
Big Kahunas celebration, and also he was fined for for cussing on air, and I guess in a report or something like that, or after a report.
The Big Kahunas.
You never
You
seen
remember
that?
when Sam Cassell used to make a basket? He used to run and do like this, like juggling.
Have you ever seen the movie? What's the name?
Also, like he was struggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
He got fined for that.
He got
15
fined for that.
G's.
15
For
G's.
that?
Yeah.
It seemed like the NBA own him right now, bro.
They on his heels, ain't they?
They on his
Time
heels.
out.
You know what? I'm about
No,
to listen.
time
Hold on,
out.
no.
No,
Hold on.
no,
Seriously
no,
though.
no.
No, seriously.
Go ahead.
Seriously though. Seriously though.
Wait. Before
serious.
KC talks,
I'm
this
not-
has now become the LeBron James podcast. So brace yourself.
Listen, I get what he did wasn't right,
Mm-hmm.
and in what he did with the Stewart situation, he hit him in the face. Okay, he got a suspension. How many players have knocked LeBron out of the air, gave him a bloody this?
We're not talking about that right
Hold
now.
on, let me finish
Go
though.
ahead,
Gave him
go
a
ahead.
bloody this and gave him a bloody that, and they gonna be on their heels. The minute LeBron did one thing, his first time in his whole career
Mhm.
ever being suspended from a game because he accidentally swiped and hit him in the face.
What they
That
got to
was
do with
not
him
no
doing a
accident.
celebration?
Come on, man. He holding his arm the whole time they at the free throw line. He reaches out to swipe his arm out and swipe them in the face. It wasn't like he was doing it maliciously, is my thing.
Well,
If he was doing it to like,
what does this have to do with the 15 grand?
I think
I'm saying, I'm get to the point, like it
Go
started
ahead.
with that, and then they really hopped on his heels after that. Like they ain't letting LeBron get away with nothing now.
yeah.
So, with that being said, first of all, there's a history with this because Dre just referenced the Sam Cassell, and since then, you do that, you get fined. Point blank. Period.
So I think the NBA has declared that as obscene, which is why he
It-
was
it
fined
is
because he
obscene.
grabbed his crotch.
He
It's
did.
almost like doing the DX suck it thing. For those of y'all that used to watch wrestling, they don't allow that either because you're fined for that. So
'Cause
I
this
mean,
is a family friendly.
I think it was
NBA.
nitpicky. It was nitpicky.
I don't think it was.
It was nitpicky.
So
What?
So Stewart,
The
can,
stuff you say on this podcast,
So-
you
so-
don't think
so-
it was nitpicky?
so Stewart can bulldoze 9 of his staff. I'm talking about literally bulldoze them, and they ain't. Everybody done left Stewart
Hold
alone.
me back.
They
Hold
done-
me back.
Everybody done left Stewart alone.
Hold me
right?
back.
Everybody left Stewart alone, and everybody on LeBron.
Hold
heels
me
now,
back.
off of one incident.
So I think the 15,000 was excessive. I've seen players do worse. We've heard players do worse. We've seen players flick off the refs, flick off
Fine.
fans. Yeah,
Fine.
we've seen play. I mean, I remember Steph Curry accidentally threw his mouth guard in the stand.
And what happened?
He got ejected, but he didn't get fined.
He got ejected though.
But he didn't get fined
He threw bodily fluids in the crowd,
before COVID.
and you can go to jail for that.
You
for
know?
for putting your body fluids on somebody.
And so Steph
Spitting-
Curry, though, the
spitting is
difference was Steph went to the fan and apologized because he was hyped. But 15,000 is excessive. However,
No,
what's
what-
more
Go
up?
ahead.
What's more excessive is the Lakers celebrating that way against the Pacers in an overtime victory.
Now, hold on a second though. No, hold on a second. No, here's the thing. Here's
That's
the thing.
more excessive.
Now, hold on. Here's the thing.
Because y'all should have beat the brakes off them.
Here's the thing.
Here we go.
Well, I'm just saying.
That happened with the ejection of the fans,
Mhm.
and right after that,
Mhm.
LeBron was mad. He was heated, and he got to work.
Yeah.
So
He sure did.
that's what happened with that, and that's why he did it.
They turned on Superman once they got kicked out.
Yeah. So they got him hyped up.
You
That's
see
why.
it?
That's why I said ironically,
But
because
I hate that they had to push him like that for him to go there.
Well, they need to push him like that so they can start beating teams.
And everybody know when you push LeBron there, you in for a long night.
I
now.
mean, speaking of LeBron, Stephen A. Kesey's favorite commentator said that the Lakers are too reliant on LeBron. Like they're too reliant on him. And that's the only time it seems that they kind of pick up the pace. So my question for you is, are they too reliant on, and should they be reliant on him? Because they also have Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Anthony Davis. These three guys that they really was like, hey, LeBron personally went to Westbrook and was like, hey, we want you to join the Lakers. He personally called Carmelo Anthony, hey man, come play with us. Anthony Davis is supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be the number one power forward in the league right now. He's not.
He's far from it.
I don't know if he's top 3.
and like I told y'all before, playing with LeBron,
You said it yourself that that it's just about LeBron.
playing with LeBron, you have to have a different mentality. And everybody is not built like that. You have to have a little bit of, I don't know how to what word to use.
Thick skin.
I don't want to say
You
thick.
gotta-
I don't want to
you
say
gotta
thick
have-
skin.
You got to have some thick skin for
Yeah,
one.
you do because
Why?
LeBron will get in your face.
I'm kind of comparing him to Jordan, man. We get it.
You've never heard me compare LeBron to Jordan.
He-
Close.
Never.
he-
He's the second greatest player, but
you
you
have
never
to be
heard
able
me
to
compare
take the media that comes behind you not having a good game. You have to be able to
Are these not superstars?
make adjustments off of the good times.
I agree. The Lakers should be better with or without LeBron. The fact that they have AD and Westbrook, they should be way
You have
better.
a better record when LeBron is playing.
Clearly,
But when he's out, that's what they brought Westbrook in for.
and they're losing to bad teams.
No, what I'm saying is, so they're are they too reliant on him? I guess. Is that the
I don't. I just think I'm just say this. I don't think it's so much them being too reliant on them just being a bad team right now.
I mean, because the Detroit game and the Indiana game, without this stuff happening to LeBron, they would have lost those games. They'd have lost both those games.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Lakers are in a really tough spot right now because you signed all these talent, all these vets. Everyone was guaranteeing a title run. Everyone was picking the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets again. And
No, they were not.
yes,
So
they
you can
were.
stop that. Everybody's
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Everybody has something to say about that roster in Lakers.
No.
5 out of
Oh, how quick they
7,
forget.
7 out of 10 picked the Lakers versus
Oh,
Brooklyn.
how
No, they
quick
did
they
not.
7 out of
forget.
10.
No, they did
The
not.
Lakers were the team to beat before the season even started. But I'll give you that. There were a number of players that also, or commentators that also said this roster is too old. They were being disrespected. But if you look at the Lakers' previous games, right, they lost to the Suns. They're beating teams barely, and these are with or without LeBron.
They've only beaten one team by more than 10 points.
Literally,
it's the Houston Rockets.
And they're averaging almost an overtime game a week.
Yeah, and
it's
the
week.
Houston Rockets.
And the fact that it took 3 overtimes for y'all to beat the Sacramento Kings,
and still they lost.
They lost.
Yeah,
in 3 overtimes.
Yeah,
the Lakers ball team is just not a good ball team right now. LeBron is the second greatest player of all time. We know that. There is no 1 second, please. There's no taking away his greatness. But the Los Angeles Lakers better get their eye off LeBron, because Bron. You better start talking about these other pieces. Anthony Davis statistically is having the worst season of his career. Statistically. Okay. Westbrook will get a quadruple double or a triple double with 10 turnovers.
He averaged only 8.
Okay. That is bad. That spells trouble for the Los Angeles Lakers, who have to compete against a 17-2 Golden State, a 17-3 Phoenix Suns, right? Nothing coming. So the Los Angeles Lakers better figure it out. Unfortunately, I think they're going to sacrifice their coach. I don't think Vogel will make it past Christmas. I don't believe it.
Why?
Because they're not winning.
He just got an extension, though.
So what? You said it in the beginning. We see players with extensions get traded or get let go. Dwayne Casey was fired the same year he won Coach of the Year. Somebody's going to take the heat for the Lakers losing, and it's not going to be LeBron James.
Well, let's go ahead and get to the main event here. This is what Kesey's been waiting for. This is what Kesey already been talking about. So on Sunday during the Los Angeles Lakers game versus the Detroit Pistons, LeBron James and Isaiah Stewart were tangled up at the free throw line. LeBron threw an elbow which hit Stewart in the face, causing blood to erupt from the face. There was a scuffle that erupted. Teams had to be broken up. Stewart was more the aggressor and had to be restrained several times. LeBron James got suspended 1 game. Isaiah Stewart was suspended 2 games.
First of all,
is there a clip?
I'm going to play the clip in a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead. I got it. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Clearly, it wasn't a scuffle between the teams, because the teams were basically just trying to hold.
Yeah,
Everybody was trying to hold.
Wait. I don't think I like the way you said I got it. What do you? What? Wait a minute, man. Don't try to classroom me, man.
I'm not trying to classroom.
Don't try to classroom.
You trying to classroom me?
No, I'm not. That was part of the discussion.
Don't we got a clip or something?
I'm just saying,
I
man.
know we got a clip.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Keith.
No, I think that
you got to understand our humor. Go ahead. Zeke.
So, Kesey, because this is your boy. Did you see it?
Yes.
How many times did you see it?
I've watched it numerous times.
So you mean to tell me LeBron James didn't do that on purpose? That's a yes or no question.
Listen, and I've said this numerous of times, and I'm going to say it again.
Go ahead.
When you're battling down there,
yes or no?
Can I finish what I got to say?
Or just classroom you too. You know,
that's ain't no classroom with nobody.
He's being the teacher today.
No, because he's for the tap dance around it. I can see his dancing shoes.
I got to put you in the place where it's at.
Okay, go ahead. Bring me there.
You at the free throw line.
We at the free throw line.
Okay.
We both battling, right?
We both battling. All right.
He decides,
okay,
I'm tired of you holding on to me. Let me swipe off, and I hit you in the face. Is it purpose or is it accidental?
That was purpose.
How?
What do you mean how? Kesey, me and you have played basketball. We all know you can swing your arm, or you can go straight up and just to get detangled. We know that.
Case.
LeBron decided to swing his hand.
Do you think it was malicious intent behind it?
I don't think it was malicious.
Go ahead. I don't think it was
okay, freaking frat.
I don't think it was malicious intent behind it, but it was on purpose.
I don't think LeBron expected it to be bloody. I don't think he even expected to hurt him, but I think LeBron basically was saying, "Get off me," and he hit him.
And that's exactly what I just said.
and
though.
he hit him.
It
But
was on purpose.
I don't think it was. I don't think the swipe to the face was on purpose.
It was on
He
purpose.
swiped, but I don't think he was intentionally.
I don't think he was trying to hurt him, but I think it was on purpose.
It was on purpose. I think it was on purpose.
Of course, you're gonna say that because it ain't Steph Curry.
I'm a LeBron fan. I normally back you up, but here's why I questioned if it was truly on purpose. Because to me, after you've hit someone like that, you're not going. Brown walked up to him and tried to check on him after he did it. He walked up to him. That's a part of the tape people miss it.
That what?
Brown walked up to him
Oh, okay, yeah.
to try to say, "Hey, my bad."
Immediately
Are
after
you
he did it,
good?
Yeah, because he
got caught.
it wasn't even bleeding when
He
he
wasn't
walked
even
up.
bleeding at the
It wasn't
time.
even
It took
bleeding.
a
He
while.
felt his hand hit him. It was like, oh, I hit him in the face. Let me walk up to him.
That's when he turned into Mr. Hold Me Back when he saw the blood.
Yeah, because when you see blood, it changes the projection. It changes how you feel about it.
All I'm saying
It's one thing
is,
to get hit in the face, and Keith, we've both been there. We get hit in the face, you're like,
y'all acting like I don't play basketball or something, man. I've been hit in the
Clearly
face
you
playing
don't.
basketball. I broke a couple pair of glasses on the
oh,
court.
I know you broken a couple pair of glasses on the
broken
court.
somebody's leg, arm, and neck too.
Tripped up. Oh, my bad. But when you bleeding, it changes from because number one, you did it on purpose. But now I'm bleeding. Now I'm mad.
But at the same time,
Are you?
if the player came directly to you right after it happened, obviously you was like, oh, he didn't mean to do it.
You can't project
But
how somebody's going to react.
You sat there. It's called, what does they call that?
Self-control?
Premeditated.
Okay.
Mhm.
He premeditated that. Like, let me see. How can I make this go to another level? Because you could have left it alone. He came to you, apologized. He said, my bad.
Kesey,
Your teammates even said, chill out.
He didn't.
Your coach said, chill out. Your the training staff telling you to chill out.
you can't predict how somebody's going to react.
Actually, you know what? I'm watching the playback now, and it doesn't look like it was on purpose. I'm watching the playback.
Stop it, Trey.
I'm
And
telling you,
I'm watching
it
the
happens
playback.
all the time. LeBron just got hit in the face again and got 4 stitches.
I think
I know it
it just
I'm not-
happened.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Hey,
but
all I'm gonna tell you though, Westbrook was ready though.
Yeah, he was
Westbrook,
ready.
Westbrook was.
Westbrook for Compton. What you thought, man?
Westbrook squared up. It was like, I still don't know how I got a technical foul. Like you squared up. You know what I'm saying?
Because at the end of the day, you protect your teammates. Did you see the Carmelo Anthony video?
Oh,
You ain't coming back here. He ain't coming back here. Yeah, I seen it. But to get to your point, looking at the video, it doesn't look like it was super intentional. It does not look that way. It does look like what I'm not going to say intentional. I'm just going to say it was aggressive because where his face was, it was underneath LeBron's elbow.
I don't think LeBron meant to hit him in his face, but he meant to swing the elbow.
Oh, intentional. You know, I'm not going to say
It wasn't malicious. It wasn't malicious.
there you go. It wasn't malicious, but it was intentional.
Exactly.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
If I shoot,
I'll give you
hold on a second, Kesey. If I shoot my gun in the air and I kill somebody that's on the 17th floor and I fall and they fall and drop dead, guess what? I'm on trial for murder.
But didn't I just say that though?
You acting like, but no, you acting like he pinched him and he overreacted.
Well, he overreacted because he put on a show. He had a chance to fight LeBron.
No,
I'm watching the video now. He saw the blood. He saw the blood, and he didn't do anything. He didn't start acting a fool and knocking people over until they
seen the blood.
No, he saw the blood. We're looking at the tape now. He saw the blood. LeBron was still near him, and he had a chance to fire on LeBron.
He didn't.
Right.
LeBron walked right up to him.
LeBron walked right up. To him.
LeBron walked up to him. When he saw the blood in his eye, that's when he lost his mind.
Listen, he saw the blood. He touched the blood. We're analyzing the tape right now. And he didn't even start pushing players off until they start holding them back. If Hold Me Back was a person, it'd be Daniel Stewart.
Stop it, man.
Okay.
Y'all sitting here acting like, number one, Isaiah Stewart and LeBron James aren't friends.
We're not saying that they
So
are.
what I'm saying is, if we're playing ball, if you hit me in my eye, I'm good.
Look,
I'm
DeAndre
sorry.
Jordan is standing right here. Right here. He walks up to Jordan, and what happens? Hold me back. Okay. If he wanted that smoke with like up in smoke, if he wanted that smoke with LeBron, he would have went and got LeBron.
So my question, okay.
He
so
over exaggerated and he created a hostile situation. Stewart did.
So with that being said, are the suspensions valid?
I think LeBron's suspension is garbage. I think it was a flagrant 2 in which he should have gotten ejected because it was unnecessary contact. But I think LeBron's suspension is garbage. I think it's garbage. Stewart's suspension, he should have gotten more than that because in the midst of his going crazy, he knocked over officials, he knocked over his own team, and he would not stand down. Okay, you were told to stand down, and you kept making a scene. You tried to chase the Lakers to the locker room. He's lucky it wasn't 10, Ron Artest Jr. Okay, he made a scene. He made himself look like a fool, and you're bloody. So you're putting the team in danger because you're spreading your blood all across the basketball court because you got everybody and their mama playing hold me back.
So we got a clip from another NBA analyst that we all know and respect.
Respect.
Y'all don't like Jay Williams?
You speak for yourself, man.
Jesus.
Play that clip.
Let's play this clip.
The fact that Isaiah Stewart is getting suspended more games than LeBron James sets the wrong example for the league. Because I ask you this, who did Isaiah Stewart hit? Who did he put his hands on?
Nobody.
None. The Lakers.
One.
Only his own teammates. I get the behavior that they don't like, but this is not the malice in the palace. The malice in the palace was a fight in the stands with the fans. This was just a normal fight. So this, to me, just goes to show you that the league is taking care of LeBron James. Now, I got love for LeBron James. I think he's the greatest player of all time. I've said it. But I could also be critical of what it is. And where it is, whatever LeBron's suspension would have been, I would have dropped that by 1 game for Isaiah Stewart. So if LeBron James gets 1 game, Isaiah Stewart gets 0 games. That's the way I look at it.
So I think that
I'll be back, Keith.
I those comments by Jay Williams kind of summed it up, and that's why I kind of played it, because I don't think they're protecting LeBron James, but I do think they tried to pat him on the back instead of coming down with the hammer.
How do you
come down? Go ahead.
How the hell do you pat him on the back off a 1-game suspension? Off an accident. It was an accidental hit. I don't care what you say.
There wasn't no accidental hit.
Well, to be fair, that 1-game suspension helped save the Lakers $500,000 in luxury tax fees because they didn't have to pay that salary for the day. It saved them $500,000 in luxury tax bills.
Cool.
My thing is this. It was, to me, on purpose. And I don't think LeBron James is a dirty player.
He's not.
But it was on purpose. And if you do something, no matter who you are, you have to pay the consequences. Now, as far as Isaiah Stewart, was he the aggressor? Was he the guy who, like, he was told to stand down, and he did not stand down? I think it should have. He ain't got to show it to me. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times.
No, did you see the clip I sent him?
No, I didn't see that.
With the Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah. Isaiah Stewart has a history of being
hold me back.
So how in the HE double hockey stick do
You
he
grown,
go
you
up,
can
do
say
him
that.
he bowed him for a rebound and kick LeBron James in the face?
Kick Blake Griffin in the groin.
Elbow, walk past Blake Griffin and elbowed him like this in the jaw.
Get in Giannis' face on the sidelines.
After he did some of Giannis. He did some of Giannis too.
So how do you consider
Damn,
that
Luka.
not? How do you consider that not accidental? But what LeBron did was on purpose.
Okay, right now.
So what is the difference?
Okay, right now we're in the NBA court of law. You putting his past experiences on him to say what, he's a bully?
He's not a bully,
He's not a bully, but he's a dirty. He's played dirty sometimes.
We I ain't gonna say we all, but everybody in the NBA has gotten away with dirty plays.
Have you watched his dirty plays?
I've seen his dirty plays.
If any other player would have walked past Blake Griffin,
Draymond Green
that
has
was
done
Draymond. Oh, come on. If that was Draymond probably would have had 10.
5.
I'm not even the biggest Draymond fan, but my man's would have had a 5 to 10 game suspension off of that.
It depends.
Easily.
We've seen harsher penalties for less.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Draymond game.
Yes.
Draymond game.
Yeah.
Draymond Green.
Draymond was
Draymond
game
got 1 game.
6, though.
That doesn't matter. He got 1 game.
Draymond get 3 games just for cussing you out.
And Draymond Green because Draymond Green does stuff on purpose.
Listen, man.
And we're taking a situation that was, like I
Isaiah,
said before, it was accidental, but you can't deny that LeBron James swung his hand.
he swore, you can't, but that's okay. We got the one. He should have been ejected and maybe fined that 15,000-20,000. But to suspend him for that, that's something. It wasn't any malicious intent behind it. You could tell by the swipe that it wasn't any malicious intent.
Now,
This dude went bananas. Like
he put on the show.
Okay, so hold on. He
Put on
went
the
bananas. He went bananas. To the point. Did he hit anybody?
He ran over NBA officials. He ran
Trainers.
over his own. It doesn't
Assistant
matter.
coaches.
Okay, but
Bro, he's spreading blood. We're still in the middle of a global pandemic.
Come on,
And,
man.
and no, you're bloody. You're not letting them clean you up. You're told to stand down, okay? Stand down. And you're chasing the money. But what I want to add to this really quickly, if I can, Gilbert Arenas' take was freaking hilarious.
That was funny.
yeah, that was funny.
Gilbert Arenas went in on him, basically saying, you know you done mucked up, right?
He might not even get in the game.
Yeah.
They played him tonight. They both played him again tonight.
He
It
said,
is. I'm excited.
you know you
He'll
done
be in
messed
LA,
up,
though. He'll
right?
be in LA.
I'm not gonna read it verbatim, but Gilbert Arenas basically told him, you can't mess with LeBron. You can't mess with them light-skinned boys, talking about Steph and Clay. He said, you can't mess with KD. He said, this is not the WWE. He said, all his clips are going to be cut out The Last Dance, all that stuff. And so basically, I think that the NBA, to Isaiah's defense, they did send a message that LeBron is protected, because there's a lot of people that think he should have got suspended more, because a lot of people, hold up, hear me out. Richard Jefferson says, and that's a LeBron guy, if the elbow doesn't happen, the guy doesn't act the way he did. I don't necessarily agree with that, but a lot of people are saying,
But my thing is,
No,
though,
go- I'm
how
sorry,
many
go.
other players have been elbowed in the face and controlled themselves in this league?
oh, it
Not
happens
when blood.
often.
When blood.
And it's been blood drawn.
You're right.
What
You-
about the Scotty?
you're right.
Let's go back to the Scottie Pippen lump he got from I think it was Karl Malone.
Dennis Rodman.
Was it
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman?
Dennis Rodman
Oh, when
fouled
they-
him
when
from
he's with the
behind.
Pistons.
Man, he had a real baseball on his forehead.
Okay, no. Here's my thing. Here's my thing, Kesey. You can't. If I punch you in your face and you pull out your gun and shoot me, I can't control how you react to something. That's just how Isaiah Stewart is.
But
He's obviously
But if he
an,
would have,
he's obviously an aggressive guy.
if he would have jumped up and reacted that way, I would have looked at it totally different. He had time to think, which gives you the premeditated thoughts. Like, what can I do to this mother right now?
right,
And my thing is, you talking about he didn't touch anybody on the Lakers,
hold me back.
but what about all the people he knocked over? How old are what is the average age of a referee in the NBA right now?
Hold me back.
40, 50,
Like 50-something years old, right?
45, 50.
If one of those refs fall down and hit their head, what are the chances of them sustaining a major injury?
I'm not saying
If
you're right.
If one of the refs,
You are
if
right.
one of the refs catch an elbow from him pushing them or bulldozing them the way he was, what are the chances of the ref not being healthy after that?
What are the chances of him also carrying this into the stands? We know Detroit fans don't know how to act.
Well,
They're
that's the
right
old
there
fan.
in the front row.
That's old. Fan.
Okay, what if fans are involved? What if that blood gets on a fan?
Come on,
Right?
man, really.
No, you have to think about it, bro. He was out of order. It literally looked like a football game out there. He was like a freaking running back just running people over. He was out of line. And his suspension, Stewart, I'm not condoning what LeBron did. It wasn't malicious, but it was on purpose. But Stewart's lucky he only got 2 games and no fine because he was out of line. He should have stood down and walked back to the dressing room.
So LeBron said he shouldn't have got none.
LeBron's suspension, in my opinion, was not warranted. It was not.
You're smoking. Can continue.
It was a flagrant 2.
It was a,
Hold up, bro. It was a flagrant 2. All right. Chris Paul, who pushed Giannis in the air, the most
Oh, okay.
unnecessary contact ever, still played in Game 6 of the finals.
He didn't get hurt.
Doesn't matter.
It
A
does
flagrant
matter.
is a flagrant.
I'm not saying a flagrant isn't a flagrant. What I'm saying is if let's say he would have pushed him, and then Giannis would have slipped off the rim and hurt himself. Yes, suspension, game.
At the end of the day, if it wasn't LeBron, he wouldn't have gotten suspended because it would have just been a flagrant ejection.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well,
That's all it was. It was
they-
just
so
a
then they-
flagrant 2. It
so
was
you can't say
unnecessary contact.
So you
That's
can't
it.
say, so you can't
No,
say the
that's
NBA
different.
protecting them.
They
then.
didn't fight, bro. They didn't fight.
They
It
did.
was a flagrant 2.
No, what I'm saying is this. Here's the thing. LeBron got protected.
How?
He got protected for. Really? Did you hear this?
Anthony Davis, DeAndre Jordan, Russell Westbrook.
They was ready to fight.
They was ready.
They was ready
They
to
was
fight.
ready. They protected
Now,
him
I'll
as
say
they
Hold on.
should.
But listen,
They should.
As they
if
should.
If you on my team and he on my team, and you got somebody trying to charge at you, guess what I'm gonna do?
Oh, we gonna fight for you.
I'm standing up.
Ain't nobody coming in the
That's
studio.
automatic. Because if they don't,
It depends
then
on
I
what
don't
it
even
is.
know why we playing together.
Listen, we were here last week with Tone, and Tone's staff, people that don't even work for him, came down to make sure he was okay.
Really?
Yes.
That's messed up.
They
Man.
came down to make sure he was okay.
And that's good. They should.
And that's what you're supposed to do to your superstar is protect
I'm
them.
not. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, y'all sitting here saying like, y'all saying two things. Y'all saying LeBron did it, but it wasn't on purpose, so it shouldn't have been that big. Of a
I said
deal.
LeBron, it wasn't malicious, but it was on purpose.
So-
but it was still a flagrant 2, and that's all it was.
Okay, so
When,
it was.
when did we start suspending players for flagrant 2s?
We start suspending players when blood is being drawn.
It was his eye, Zeke. If you poke me in my eye, it's going.
That's even a better reason. What are you talking about? It wasn't his wrist.
So is this considered a flagrant?
Okay, we are watching. That is not a flagrant 2. It's-
What is it?
that is not a flagrant 2. That's a flop.
No.
Really, that's a flop.
Watch it again.
No.
Okay, first
Watch
of all,
this. This is what we're watching: LeBron and Draymond. That's a flop. That's not a flagrant
Let's
2.
go.
Guess how many Draymond got off of that?
5.
5 games.
But it was LeBron. It was LeBron. It was LeBron.
Bulldoze him on purpose.
hey, what did Gilbert say? What did Gilbert Arena say? You don't touch LeBron.
You don't touch LeBron.
You don't touch LeBron. You crazy?
You don't t-
How long ago was that? That was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
You really don't touch LeBron
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
So I knew we was gonna have a difference in this, and that's fine. It's part of basketball. But this has been another episode of 94 Feet Podcast. I'd like to thank my brothers Dre.
94.
Also like to thank my
94 Feet Nation. Thank you for tuning in.
I also like to thank my brother Keezy for giving his LeBron James defense attorney fees. I'm sure he'll be cash apping you soon.
I just think it wasn't malicious, and you can say what you want to say.
It was a flagrant 2 and
It was
nothing
a
more.
flagrant 2, and he shouldn't have
Stop
been
it,
suspended.
man.
Nothing more. Nothing.
Stop it.
Nation, what do y'all think? 94 Feet Nation. Leave it in the comments.
Hit us on Facebook.
Hit us on Facebook. Look at our Twitter accounts, our Twitter handles, and tag us. Was LeBron James suspension warranted? Okay, yes or no? That's all we want to know. Hit us up.
So, like I said, it's another episode of 94 Feet. You can catch us on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Streacher,
Spreaker.
Google, Amazon, all that good stuff.
Indeed.
You can also catch us on social media. We got a Facebook, we got a Twitter, we got Instagram, we got them all, except for TikTok because we're adults.
At 94 Feet
There you go.
Podcast. At 94 Feet, 94 FT Podcast. Hey, man, TikTok is hilarious,
All
man.
right,
Don't
good
be hating, man.
I'm just saying, it's for the kids, man. All right, man. Been one.